Breaking news on MSNBC. These are the latest pictures from Haiti more than 22 hours after a deadly earthquake hit, destroying the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Aftershocks are still rattling the capital of Port-au-Prince, the epicenter of the quake.
And the number of victims right now, honestly, is described as being staggering. Haiti's president says he believes thousands of people are dead. But in an interview, the prime minister saying he believes the number could be in the hundreds of thousands. And the International Red Cross says 1/3 of Haiti's 9 million people may right now be in need of emergency aid.
Schools and hospitals and government buildings have all collapsed. Even the main prison in Haiti's capital collapsed, and the UN has received reports of escaped inmates. Communication systems are destroyed, making it impossible, even within Haiti, to get an accurate understanding of the true extent of the destruction.
And the U.S. military is sending a ground assessment team to Haiti. They've also been doing aerial reconnaissance, and the Navy and Army are already responding. The U.S. could begin using C-130 aircrafts to fly emergency supplies later today. And this morning, President Obama offered his unwavering support to Haiti.
Haitians are our neighbors in the Americas and here at home. So we have to be there for them in their hour of need.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm David Schuster with Tamron here in New York.
And we've got a lot of developments in this story, David. This afternoon, as the U.S. mobilizes more aid, and the White House, as we just saw there with President Obama this morning, saying he's in contact with U.S. Ambassador to Haiti, Kenneth Merton, as well as Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
The commander of U.S. Southern Command now says a flight over the area confirms the damage is mostly confined to Port-au-Prince, and we're just learning the U.S. military ordered a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier and 3 amphibious ships, including one that can carry up to 2,000 Marines, to head towards Haiti. The USS Carl Vinson is already on its way and should be there Friday.
So let's go to NBC's Jeff Rawson is closely following the developments right now. And Jeff, honestly, like as the president said, the priority now, saving lives, also assessing how many Americans could be there on the ground. We don't know exactly the casualty number, as communications has been almost impossible all morning long, and we're nearing the 24-hour mark of this disaster.
Yeah, that's the difficulty here. The infrastructure of Haiti, which is so fragile to begin with even before this disaster, has now been almost eradicated. You have little to no electricity, phone lines, very few of those are open at this hour, no water as well, and so you have people who are trying to even tell other people in that country, I'm okay or I need help, and they can't do it. Like you said, the focus right now is on the rescue effort, even as sadly bodies pile up on the sides of streets. According to the Haitian president, many families are trying to get their children from under rubble. The same thing with children trying to get their parents out and friends as well. The other danger here is that Doctors Without Borders confirms that almost all of the hospitals in Port-au-Prince have either collapsed or they have been abandoned by people who are going to check on their own families. And so even when you're lucky enough to be rescued, you can't get the medical care that you so desperately need. You made reference to the fact that one of the leading senators from Haiti had said the death toll could be in the hundreds of thousands. Of course, U.S. officials are saying it may not be that high, and to be very careful about that. It is almost impossible at this point to tell exactly how many people are dead, but
obviously
there's no
right
question
now,
it's a
Jeff,
catastrophe.
people are operating under their worst fears, having seen that on the ground. You've got the president, Preval, saying that he walked past bodies around the streets. These are new live aerial pictures of what it looks like. I believe this is Port-au-Prince over the city, densely populated, the 4th poorest country in the world. On a good day, it is difficult to get electricity. So imagine after this devastation. And Jeff, we know that there are fears that as the darkness comes, people will have to be outside. They can't go into the few buildings that are still standing because they are not stable. And I know there's been an urgent call for things like tents. But talk to us about the airport situation. We know that aid is here in the United States. People are ready to bring in supplies, but can they even land at the airport?
Right, that's one of the difficulties here. I mean, the airport, luckily, infrastructure-wise, is okay. We're told the runways are okay there. The problem is the control tower suffered damage, and there's also an air traffic control issue there as well. And so flights can, on a limited basis, get in there. That's good news that the airport wasn't heavily damaged, and they saved many people, because military flights can most likely get in there. But remember, there's a danger because you have military helicopters, relief helicopters, small planes in the area with very limited air traffic control. So you don't want to see some kind of air disaster over Port-au-Prince where more people are killed. So the airport is open. The UN says the airport is operating, but it's on a very limited basis at this point.
All right, Jeff Rawson, thank you very much.
Chairman, much of Haiti's national palace has been flattened, and again, the palace is one of the sturdiest, or was considered one of the sturdiest buildings in Port-au-Prince. On the top of your screen here, that is a picture of the palace before the quake hit, and then on the bottom, that is what is left of the building after the earthquake. The palace, as you can see, suffered major damage when the second floor fell into the first. The government official says Haitian President Rene Préval and his wife survived, although it's not clear whether they were in the palace at the time of the earthquake. As we mentioned, U.S. officials are laying out a massive military response to the earthquake. According to the U.S. State Department, President Obama has asked both the State Department and the Pentagon for a maximum effort to help save lives. The president said that essentially the entire American people are with the people of Haiti, and that the U.S. commitment will be unwavering. NBC's Tom Costello is following the story and joins us live from Washington with the latest. Tom.
Yeah, we have a lot of moving pieces here. Let me first pick up on something that Jeff Rawson talked about when he talked about the need to get aircraft into and out of Port-au-Prince very quickly. As you probably heard, the U.S. Air Force's 1st Special Operations Wing is deploying to Port-au-Prince, should be on the ground very soon. One job they will have is to establish air traffic control and to establish the rules of the air, as it were, and that won't be easy, because the biggest air traffic management problem they have in the Port-au-Prince area right now is the airport itself. It has no taxiways, and there's only one runway. So what happens is you land, and all you can do is go to the end of the runway, if you will, and there's a turnaround space, and you turn around, you offload your gear, offload your people, and then you got to really kind of tuck into a corner if you have other arriving flights come in there before you can get out. It's very limited. So air traffic management is going to be critical here, and ramp management is going to be critical here. We know that the airport authorities that exist, the Haitian airport authorities, don't have a lot of capability right now. Other news, let's summarize quickly for you some of the other U.S. response. We know that the 2 FEMA urban search and rescue teams are on their way, one of them coming from Fairfax County in Northern Virginia, with 72 total personnel en route for urban search and rescue. As we've said, USAID is in charge of the intra-governmental response from the government. If this were a domestic event, FEMA would be in charge. Now it's USAID, and U.S. Military Southern Command is responding. The Coast Guard cutter Forward has already arrived off the coast of Port-au-Prince. It has helicopter flight decks, satellite communications equipment, and even more air traffic control equipment and abilities. The Coast Guard cutter Mohawk is expected to arrive any time. 2 C-130s, as we've said, are in the area. 2 Coast Guard choppers already in the area. The naval ship USS Carl Vinson is already leaving Norfolk, Virginia. It is a full command ship, if you will, and we have also talked about how all U.S. carriers have already canceled flights into and out of Haiti for now. The last point I would make here is that the U.S., as is becoming abundantly clear, guys, the U.S. may have to overstep its traditional role here. You have essentially a non-working government entity in Haiti. The U.S., being the closest, biggest nation, is going to have to come in there and just assume responsibilities, whether it steps on toes or not, because this is an emergency of such dramatic proportions. Back to you guys.
NBC's Tom Costello in our Washington Bureau. Tom, thanks as always. And Cameron, it gets right to the point that it's difficult for the Obama administration, for the U.S. government to even know who to talk to, because even the Haitian government doesn't. The officials that they have in Washington are having a difficult time communicating.
But for his part, the president of Haiti, Préval, has said that he is ready, willing, and wanting all of the help that the United States will provide. So for his part, he is saying, please, we need you.
Yeah, the U.S. State